This is an Environmental Protection Agency production focused on the achievements of the Human Resources and Corporate Operations and Services divisions. During this production, we will be featuring the Human Resources Director, Ms. Shivon Dazzel, and the Corporate Operations and Services Director, Ms. Nicola Namdeo. Hi, welcome to the program. I am Joel Ali, Communications Specialist and Head of the Communications Department. In this interview, we will be speaking with Human Resource Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Ms. Shivon Dazzel. Welcome to the program, Ms. Dazzel.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great. Human resource management has become a function with extraordinary strategic value to the organization and its leadership. Please share with us your department's major accomplishments since the year 2021.
Excited about that, Joel, because we're a semi-autonomous body, so we regulate or we generate our own revenues, and also receive subvention from the government of Guyana, and we were still able to achieve. The perception is that public sector you can't achieve, or we're slow and we can't get certain things done. But with EPA, so far that I've found that we managed to do quite a few things that we're proud of. For one, we increased our manpower count. So in 2020, at the end of 2020, we had 121 employees. Now currently we have 173 employees. So that's a 43% increase over that time, and we're still hoping to build human capacity to ensure that we achieve those strategic goals that we have planned. So there's one of the major things. Another thing that we did, we revamped our performance management system. So the first aspect of it was to creating a performance appraisal sheet or document that will make performance feedback or management less subjective. So each of us, we are accountable for our own performance. It's easier for us to monitor our achievements, so the heads or the supervisors, they set key indicators, key goals, and that discussion is had at the beginning of the assessment period, and it's based on facts. So an individual employee can actually go and say, okay, did I achieve this at this timeline? Oh no, I'm behind, I have to catch up. So it makes that performance feedback and appraisal very easy, because it's so easy to account for your own performance, right? So that's one of the things that we're really proud of. And that's just the first aspect of it. So we're trying to make sure that everyone understands and it's fully being the intention of what we're trying to achieve, that it's met at this point, and then we will move to another stage of that system. Another key thing that we have done is developing a training program, right? For our core competence. So as you're aware, we're a technical organization focused on environmental management. So our core competency is based on environmental management and monitoring and regulating and so on. So we identify the core competencies and skills that are needed to achieve our mandate. From that, we develop a training program that will inform our training plans each year. It will also help to an environmental officer coming onto the agency. There's a plan and program from basic straight to advanced. So the advanced and specializations will tie into our succession plans and programs. So it's quite exciting. We have already begun executing some aspects of it. So we look forward to, achieving more through that program. So we're excited about that. So those are some of the key things that we've achieved.
Oh, wonderful. Exciting indeed. I must say congratulations to you and team for those accomplishments, and I know there are greater things ahead for you and your team.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
In this episode, we will be speaking with Ms. Nicola Namdeo, Director of Corporate Operations and Services Division. Welcome, Ms. Namdeo. So during your years as the Director of Corporate Operations and Services Division, which comprises administrative operations, including transportation, logistics, security, registry, maintenance, events, procurement of assets, etc., as you mentioned before, in light of this expansive mandate, kindly share with us your most notable achievements thus far.
So during my tenure as the Director of Corporate Operations and Services Division here at the EPA, I've had the privilege of leading a very, very dynamic team. And while I would have spearheaded a lot of these initiatives, and while some of these ideas I would have birthed, I can say that none of them would have been possible without my team. So Joel, I'll address this question by saying we, us, and our, rather than our.
Certainly.
Right, so some of our most notable achievements include, I think, the optimization of our logistics schedule. So, like I mentioned to you, our staff complement is 173, 15 departments, multiple teams going out. And previously, there were a lot of trips that we could not have facilitated. And what we would have done is developed a framework that now enables us to facilitate about 98 to 100% of all requests for trips. So I think you can imagine the level of coordination that is necessary to achieve that, but that's one that we're very proud of. Since my arrival here at the EPA too, one of the things that I would have done was to develop a very comprehensive SOP for the procurement process. And our processes have been mapped even diagrammatically. So what it allowed us to do was to get a bird's eye view of our processes, of where the redundancies are, of where the bottlenecks are, and we were able to eliminate those. And so our procurement process is a lot more efficient than it used to be, right? It's not particularly where we want to be as yet, but it's a lot better. I mentioned earlier too that we would have developed a facilities management department. I think that's a great accomplishment for us because previously we had to outsource a lot of work. And the procurement process, of course, there are a lot of necessary steps. And we found that some of the services that we required, we could not get them as fast as we needed them. So given the level of demand for facilities management, we thought it best to develop a department dedicated for that. And so a lot of our issues now we're able to solve them in-house almost immediately. And that has saved us a lot of time and a lot of money. And of course, it has enhanced staff welfare. Another one that I'm particularly proud of is our crisis management. Like I said, we do have a mechanism in place where we're able to call staff from the various departments and we're able to sit down and say, okay, this is the issue before us. How do we solve it? And it's never a case where one staff is saying, you know, this is not my job, this is not my work. Everybody understands their role and they're willing to come together and even overstep in other people's area to get the work done. And so, you know, the leadership and the level of mentoring and so on that is needed to get your staff to want to produce and want to commit it's quite a noteworthy achievement. Like I mentioned, we do have 12 vehicles and we've acquired 3 boats already. We have sent staff to be trained to operate these boats, and so those are capabilities that I want to be able to build on so that whenever we get an emergency, regardless of the time, regardless of the resources that are needed, the EPA is ready and able to respond.
Thank you, and as again I must say kudos to your team, and I can attest to the fact that your team, they're quite efficient in terms of their work. When we, of course, from the communication department reach out, we're always there to support, so thank you so much for that. And with that, we've come to the end of today's program. Thank you for watching, and remember, the environment is everybody's business.